What up, everybody? It's me, Trickster Shadow here, Variety Killer Maiden with over 6.5 thousand hours in Dead by Daylight. And today, I thought I would make a quick little video going through the developer update, breaking it down for those of you that may not know what to think or want my opinion on it, or you want things, certain things explained. That's what I'm here for. This is just a quick video. I'm just trying to get it out, just talking about it. I'm literally recording this a little bit after this came out. And if I ramble or if I'm incoherent, it's because I haven't slept yet. Uh, I was kind of anticipating this. And so now we're here. So if you guys don't know, every 3 months there is a chapter, and then in between the 3 month, which is like the new characters, new killer, new survivor, new map. So every 3 months there's a chapter that comes out with new content, and then every 1 point or every halfway point between the 3 months, there is a mid chapter. This because it's the middle of the chapter. And this is currently the mid chapter that we're going into. Previous chapter that we had was Twins, of course, coming out in December. This is the mid chapter. Uh, and typically mid chapters are reserved towards fixing things in the game or improving mechanics or adjusting values. And so we're going to be breaking down this mid chapter and showing you guys what it's all about. So for the first thing, they showed this video, which I'm going to go back to this video after we explain a little bit. But they show a video of the developers talking a little bit about some of the changes that are going on. Really, the main thing that I kind of want to show through this video is the clown change. So if you didn't know, this has been known for a little bit now. Clown is going to be getting changed in the mid-chapter patch. So what's going to be happening is Clown is now going to have a new throwable bottle, which is called the Afterpeace Antidote. And I think his current one is called like the Afterpeace Toxin or something like that. Uh, and so what the antidote does is it has a delayed yellow gas. So he throws the bottle and it makes the gas cloud like normal. But for a couple seconds, the gas cloud is gray, and then it'll slowly turn yellow. And when it turns yellow, that's when the effect will take in place. So the gray for the first 2 seconds after it's thrown, no effect, and then the yellow is when it comes into effect. And what the yellow gas does is it does the opposite effect of the purple gas clouds. And so the yellow gas, it'll make it to where anybody that moves through that gas will move 10% faster, whether that be the clown himself or the survivors. So this is something that like the clown, you throw down bottles, say like you're on a big map and you want to try to get to a gen faster so you can get that pop goes the weasel, or so you can force people off so you can get that rune value. You can start throwing down bottles in front of you and then keep on chaining together at 10% movement. I don't believe we'll have to test. I don't believe this stacks. I'm assuming that it's just a flat 10%. So if you keep on running through more gas clouds, I'm assuming it won't stack, because if it did stack, that'd be pretty nutty. But you can still chain it together to where you can move 10% faster, which is pretty substantial. uh I believe that's like Bloodlust 2 levels of movement. It could be more. I could be wrong. Again, I'm just like trying to get my first impressions out. But it's very substantial. Of course, like the survivors can move through it as well. But the killer already moves faster than the survivors, so a 10% buff to their movement speed. Uh, it it would be pretty. It wouldn't matter that much, I don't think. Of course, like it could help out with the tighter looping that survivors, since they have smaller hitboxes, they can loop things tighter. And so if you misplace a bottle, I could see that working into the survivors' favor. But this is quite interesting. It gives them a little bit of map. I can talk. It gives them a little bit of map mobility, which the clown has been lacking, and it was one of the reasons why he's one of the worst killers in the game, if not the worst currently. And so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Um, this is something that I wish they would have changed how the clan operates currently, because the slowing down of survivors is something that is seen by a lot of people as an unfun mechanic, because it just restricts your movement, makes it where you can put in less inputs. Your inputs don't matter as much. And so I wish they would have did something with that, but I guess it's fine that they didn't. And one final thing with the antidote, with the yellow gas, is that if you run through the yellow gas and you run through the purple gas, it'll negate its effects. And same if you run through the purple gas and run through the yellow, it'll negate the effects. And so the clown can't just like throw purple and yellow at the same time, and then, because that wouldn't make sense. Because if he throws a purple and yellow on the same, it just minus 10% to plus 10%. It just doesn't do anything. And so if the gas is collide, they just neutralize and disappear. And so, in addition to that, they're also making a change to the clown's reload time, which one of the big, also one of the big complaints about clown is that it takes forever for him to reload. So they're making it to where instead of it's taking 5 seconds to reload. It takes 3 seconds. I think this is a good change. What I would have preferred is I would have preferred them to make it to where uh, it was dependent on how many bottles you needed to reload. To where if you needed to reload only one bottle, then it just a quick swish, just like half a second, you're done. And then if you needed to reload all of them, it would take obviously longer. That's what I would have preferred personally, but this is also a good change, and it sounds like they're keeping the reload add-on, and so I'm curious to see what the reload, because the reload is like 2 seconds. That's crazy. But we'll have to see because they're doing an add-on pass, and so we'll have to see what type of add-ons the clan will have now, and what type of values they'll have. But in terms of the yellow gas, let me. This is a quick developer video of them showing off some of the things. Let me see. So this is there's the purple gas, of course, which is normal. You run through it, you slow down, and then I believe they show as well the yellow gas, and so you can swap between them by pressing control. It's the same thing as like with pig. You press the control button, the secondary ability button to crouch. Same thing with Ghostface. Instead with clown, you throw yellow bottles, or you switch the yellow bottles so you can throw it, and so you just press the control, and it looks instantaneous. And so you throw it, and then it has the gray cloud, of course, and then when it transitions to yellow, that's when it takes effect. And so the gray cloud does nothing. As soon as it turns yellow, you can move 10% faster. And so they show it moving 10% faster. And this may not be noticeable to you, but this is quite substantially faster. Uh, it really does look like Bloodlust 2 or 3 type of speeds. Here's a little bit of gameplay showing the haste effect and the hindered effect. And then bump, get the hit. And so that is very interesting. I'm very curious to see how this works out. I'm kind of reserving a lot of my opinions until we play it and see how it actually functions at the match. I think this will be very good for map mobility, uh, but it could be pretty abusable. But we'll have to see. It at least adds another mechanic to the clown, makes him a little bit more deep of character, a little bit more fun to master. And then in addition, there's a lot more changes. This is just the clown. They're doing an update to the HUD, which this is the update to the HUD that they want to do. They want to put in the upper left hand corner all the survivor portraits, along with like, people's names, of course, so you can see what survivors there are attached to their names. They want to put, I don't know if you can really see this, but there's a little like a hook wheel, and it has little sections on it. So what they essentially want to do is they want to make it to where you can tell how many hooks you have. So if you want to know, oh, like, do I have 3 hooks? Oh, the little indicator tells you have 3 hooks. And then you got your power in the lower left, showing you how many hatches you have, and then your perks in the lower right. And then at the top, it says how many gens are remaining. This, and then for survivor, it's the same thing, where it shows the same type of stuff. This, I don't like this. I don't think it's like a wild opinion. Um, I do think that it would be good for them to change the HUD. I don't think that this is quite the direction that they should be going in. I don't think there's any reason why the power or item should be so massive. It doesn't do anything for you to be so massive and take up so much real estate. It I don't like that the generators are made to be smaller, like, because that's pretty important information. And I'm thinking about this as like a streamer as well. If somebody comes into my stream and is looking at my stream, it's harder for them to tell what is happening in the game by this UI compared to the current UI, which makes the game less watchable, in my opinion, at least for new people. Um, what I would do is I would have a system like BOTB did. I don't know if you guys watched Best of the Best, but essentially, which was a tournament that happened in September. It had the portraits, and like you could have like the survivor portraits instead of like the normal like silhouettes. You could have like Dwight and everybody. You have their portraits at the bottom where they currently are, and then what I would have is I would have little hook symbols to where they're grayed out under each survivor. There's 3 hook symbols grayed out under each survivor, and then when you hook that corresponding survivor, it makes the one of the grayed hook symbols. It makes it red, indicating that you have 1 hook on that person, or 2 hooks on that person, or 3 hooks on that person. They're dead. And I think that would be a lot better. That'd be a lot more clean. That'd be a lot more subtle. But subtlety doesn't it doesn't matter how subtle it is if it's something that people know they can look towards and they can get instant feedback, because you don't need this persistent thing right here. just staring at you. And of course, like the hooks would be staring at you, but they would be like tucked away under the portraits. Um, and I think that'd be a lot better. And it would free up this space right here, making it to where, because what annoys me is I don't want so much stuff at the top as well, because when I'm playing killer I'm looking around constantly. And so if I'm on like a map with a lot of verticality, if I'm on like Haddonfield, or if I'm on like Mother's Dwelling with like the main building, I want to be able to see everything on the top of the screen as much as possible. The bottom of the screen I don't care about as much, because that's most likely going to be looking at the ground anyways. And so I prefer if most of the UI is confined to the bottom. And so I prefer if they move the portraits back down to the bottom where they are currently. And instead of this little hook wheel, they put little hooks like little indicators showing how many hooks that you have on each individual survivor. That way you can figure out like who's been hooked and why. That'd be a lot better for new killers, so they can figure out, oh, this person has only been hooked once, but this other person has been hooked 2 times. So if I go and kill them, then they're out of the game. And that'd be a lot more new user friendly, I think. Um, yeah, I applaud him for trying to do something, but don't think that this is the way. I I do want them to change the UI, but not like this. If anything, take the concept of showing which survivor it is, put the hook concept under each survivor portrait, showing their corresponding amount of hooks, and make it to where the generators are back to where they were, because I don't like how this up here. I just don't like it. I want the top of the screen to be free real estate so I can pay attention to what I need to be paying attention to. I don't care how many generators are at the top of the screen. I want them in the tucked away in the corner so I can see a little bit better. That's my own personal gripe. And so, in addition to this, they talk about there's going to be an option to scale your UI. And so, if you want to make this smaller or bigger, you can. I would prefer if there was more customization settings, to where if you didn't want to know how many generators are remaining, or if you didn't want to see your item, or didn't want to see your perks, or stuff like that, I would prefer that. Um, but I guess that's too much to ask for. Um, and in addition to that, we're also having a locomotion update. Which, if you don't know what locomotion is, it's essentially like movement. And so what they're doing, I'm gonna play through this while I'm talking. Uh, Essentially, what the devs are saying is that a lot of the movements have been in the game since release, or really close to release, or they've been in the game for years. And so, or there's just some things that didn't have animations, and they just kind of like smoothed it out. Like crouching. Crouching doesn't have an animation. They just smooth it out to go from one state to the other. And so they're making it to where there's more smooth running animation. There's more smooth crouching animation. When you're running around, you're actually kind of like hobbling a little bit. When you're crawling on the ground, you can see them like actually crawling. And when they get back up from like Unbreakable, you can see them standing back up. So right now you can see her flashing the flashlight, moving around. You can see her crawling around, actually moving her entire body. I think that they have the Unbreakable animation. Oh, there's them flopping on the ground, which is kind of funny. I really like that. That's a really good animation, whoever did that. Them flipping around, and then them standing up. There we go. I believe that's it. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's very cool. I like them updating the game like that. It makes the game feel more fresh, more professional. Good change. Really nothing bad about that. I just hope that the it doesn't affect movement that much, because of Survivor, every time the developers touch the movement, it always makes it feel weird when you're looping or trying to play the game. So I'm hoping that it's not gonna change things that much, but we'll see. That's something that we got to test on the PTB on Tuesday, on the 12th, I believe. And then also, it's a lot of big changes. There's going to be an MMR change. So if you didn't know, there's an MMR test a long time ago. I don't even remember when, to where they were testing with each individual killer having their own individual rank. Uh, I guess you could say, but it's a hidden MMR, hidden rank. To where if you play, so you play a lot of Hillbilly and your rank 1 is Hillbilly, you do really well, but you want to get into playing Nurse. If you never have played Nurse, then obviously you're not going to be as good with her. And so they don't want you to go against rank 1 survivors if you never played Nurse before, and then just get stomped, and then you never want to play Nurse, you never want to branch out, because they want to promote killer diversity. They want to see more people using more killers. And so what they're doing is they're making it where there's a hidden MMR. You can't see what your MMR is. You can't see what your actual rank is. and they'll make it to where for each individual killer, they have their each individual ranking set, each individual MMR. And so if you're really good with Billy, you have a higher MMR with Billy. If you haven't played Nurse and you're bad with Nurse, then you'll have a lower MMR. So you'll go against newer people with Nurse, and you'll go against more experienced players with Billy, which is good. I like that. Promotes killer diversity. I think that's a really good thing. One thing I hope that they do, obviously, like the MMR change or the MMR system when it was implemented the first time wasn't very good because there was a lot of instances where I personally, as somebody with over 6,000 hours, I would go against people that just bought the game, like literally 0 hours in DBD. It was their first match, and they go against me, which is bad. Because I don't know what rank they are until the end of the game. Like I can kind of guess because like how they're playing, but I don't know like how inexperienced they are until the end of the game, and I feel bad. Um, but one thing I hope that that doesn't happen again. But I hope that with the MMR system for the killers, I hope that if what I think they should do is I think that they should make it to where the killers with 110% movement speed, they have all their individual MMRs. Yeah. And then like Nurse has their own individual MMR. But I think all the killers that are 115% movement speed, I think that their MMR should at least somewhat influence each other. Because like if you become really good with Trapper, or really good with Wraith, there's a little bit of carryover there because like yeah, their powers are different and their powers can help in chases in like different ways or be able to play a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, if you're a 115% movement speed killer, you play the game pretty similarly to the other 115 killers. And so if I'm a really good Wraith player and then I'm doing really good on Wraith and then I want to play some Clown, I don't think that I should go against people that just bought the game just because I never played Clown because I already have the experience of playing a 115 killer. So I hope that's something that they take into account so that I, as somebody that plays all the killers, I'm not just constantly like slowly inching my way up the MMR and so I'm constantly playing against babies. That's what I hope that doesn't happen because that'll be very unfortunate for a lot of people that get into my lobby, and I hope that's not the case. But since they're essentially getting rid of ranks, like the ranks that we know right now, like rank 1 to 20, and they're having a hidden MMR. They're making it to where ranks now are more, and they kind of are currently, but they're making it more to where ranks are an indicator of how much time you've played within the last month. And so what they're going to be doing is one of the biggest changes. They're making it to where every month during the rank reset, you'll go from whatever rank you are currently. So if you're at rank 1, you go from rank 1 to rank 20. Everybody gets reset to rank 20 at rank reset, and you can grind out and try to get to rank 1 throughout the entire month. The ranks won't affect your matchmaking. The MMR system will, which is hidden MMR. You don't know how to affect it. It just affects it on its own by how you play. Um, and so yeah, the ranks will just be an indicator of how much time you've put in. And so what they're doing as a result of this is they're adding rank rewards to where, as you can see, the corresponding rewards will be given to the corresponding ranks that you get or that you have by the end of the rank reset. So when your rank gets reset, if you're at rank 1 with Survivor, you get 250,000 blood points. Same with Killer, to where if you're rank 1 with Survivor, you'll also get 250,000. So you can get a possible like 500,000 blood points if you're rank 1 on both sides, which is good. That's good. And I think like rank has always been, or at least for the past couple of years, rank has been very much so an indicator of just how much time you put uh, in the past month or past couple months. And so I'm glad that they're finally making it aware that that's what officially that's what the metric is. And I'm glad they're adding a little bit of a reward. I wish that would have been iridescent shards instead. Blood points are nice and all, but I think that if you're rewarding people based on how much they're playing within a month, I think that it should at least be an iridescent shard reward so that they can buy cosmetics or buy like a DLC so that they can be rewarded for their commitment to the game and consistently playing and keeping the player base alive. Because without killer players or without survivor players, there's nobody to play the game. And so I think that iridescent shards would be a lot better. Maybe like 1,000 shards if you reach rank 1, and then it goes down from there. That way it doesn't affect the economy too much because that only gets given out once a month. And so you can make it to where, oh, you rank 1 on both sides, you get 2,000 shards, and you still need like, was it like 21,000 shards in order to get a character or like get an outfit. So I don't think that would affect the game that much, but preferably I'd make it to where rank 1 both sides, you get 1,000 shards. and I think that'd be a lot better of a system personally. And if you want blood points, you could buy the shrine. So yeah, there's that. And then also there's a graphical update coming. They're updating Cordyspin Asylum and they're updating Gideon Meat Plant. So you can see some concept art from for Cordyspin Asylum. You can see it's a little bit burnt and everything, a little bit charred. It's very good. And the concept art is always phenomenal. The art team does a really good job. This is concept art for the game, and I'm hoping the game is actually more bright, like it is in this concept art, because the game is kind of a dark map. At least the below part. It's very good. And I'm hoping that each individual room is unique and actually has some like looping potential, because one of the problems with like indoor maps is that it's just not fun to loop, if I'm gonna be honest with you, both survivor and killer side. But we'll see what happens. And then rounding off the update, they got some miscellaneous changes. We got a Wraith change, making it to where they're going to be making it to where Wraith is truly invisible if he's beyond 24 meters, making it to where you can't see him across the map coming towards you. There's a little shimmer. So beyond 24 meters, he's completely invisible. From 24 to 16, I'm assuming that his amount of visibility will kind of flicker, like imagine like spirit phasing, except his shimmering will flicker in and out. And then 16 meters, or below 16 meters, you'll be able to see the shimmer, and so you'll see him approaching. And obviously, you'll still hear the purr and footsteps and stuff like that. And I like this change. I think this change is good. It's a good buff to Wraith. It's not OP. Good change all around. Good. Very good change. And then they're making a change to the Trapper. So essentially, breaking this down, what they're doing is they want to normalize the escapes out of the Trapper's bear traps, because currently you could either get out first try, which is very punishing for the Trapper. Trapper has to spend time setting out the trap and everything, and think about where the trap is placing, and then you step in it and you get out instantly and it doesn't do anything. And they don't want that, and they want to make it to where you're not doing like 20 attempts to get out of the bear trap and you're not getting out any of the attempts. And so what they're doing is they're making it to where the first 3 attempts you have a relatively low chance in order to get out of the trap, and then your fourth attempt you'll have about the same chances as before, which is about 25% in order to get out of the trap, and then chances 5 to 6 you'll have a higher chance per escape, or per escape attempt, I believe. And so this will make it to where you're going to get out within like probably like 6 or 7 attempts uh, at the most. So they're bringing down they're bringing down the edge cases essentially. They're making it to where you're not going to get out in the first few as likely, and you're not going to be in there forever, which is very good because as Trapper, it feels very punishing if somebody instantly gets out of your trap, and then as Survivor, it's very punishing when you step in a Trapper's trap and you're in there for like 20 attempts and he's across the map, he downs somebody else, hooks them, and you're still in the trap fiddling around, and then by the time you get out, he just comes and hits you. And it's dumb. So I'm glad that they're normalizing this. So escape 1 to 3, low chance of getting out. Escape 4, about 25% chance of getting out. And then escape 5 and 6, your increased chance of getting out. You're most likely going to get out on those attempts. And they're also adjusting deep wound. Now this is a change that is interesting, and they even talk about why it's interesting in this update. So they're making it aware of the deep wound, which is the borrowed time effect. If you get hit with borrowed time, is the styptic agent effect. It is the legion effect. He applies deep wound to survivors with this fell frenzy. It is the effect that Deathlinger puts on people. That effect is going from 30-second timer, so 30 seconds until deep wound applies to you and you're standing still, and then you get slugged on the ground if you don't deep wound, you're just holding M1. It's going from 30 seconds to 20 seconds. And in most cases, this isn't a big deal. This is fine because when you're running around, deep wound doesn't go down anyways. And when you're mending yourself, it pauses the timer as well. But what this is interesting for is, like they're saying, the snap out of madness. So if you're insane from the doctor, if you're in madness 3, it takes 12 seconds in order for you to get out of madness. And if you miss a skill check, it knocks off 25% of your progress. And you can't mend until you get out of madness. And so if you miss 3 skill checks for madness, you're going to go down. You're just going to get slugged on the ground. And that's interesting because I don't know, did I just say it? I don't know if I just said it, but it takes 12 seconds to get out of madness, 20 seconds in order to mend. You have 8 seconds buffer. So you miss 3 skill checks, you go on the ground. It just if you miss 2, it's fine. You can recover it. If you miss 3, you're no recovering it. You're just dead. Um, I'm interested to see how this will play out. I'm of course going to use this as doctor, where I'm going to try to make sure that the person on the hook is tier 3, and then I'm going to hit them and hope that they go down. Uh, I'm curious to see how this plays out. I like that they're adding a little more stress to the game. I hope it's not really busted for doctor. Something we'll have to see. They're making a change to Pebble, aka Diversion, and they're making it to where you can get Pebble more often. They're reducing the time requirement of staying in the close radius. It's cool. I wish it wouldn't be staying in the close radius without being chased. I wish it would just be staying in the close radius. That's me. Or at the very least, what I think that they should do, in addition to making it where it takes less time to get the Pebble, I think they should make it where it's a stack-based system where you can store at least like 3 Pebbles, where you can just use them, machine gun Pebbles off. Because why not? It's not like it's a broken perk. You should be able to store some Pebbles, I think. It should be like a stakeout where you can get stacks by staying in the killer's terror radius. It should be like that, I think. And then they're changing fixated. Fixated currently, you walk a little bit faster if you're uninjured, and then if you get injured, the walking faster effect goes away. They're making it to where even if you're injured, you'll still walk faster, which is good. Good change. They're making it to where Undying has been very oppressive ever since it came out, and so they're finally making a change to it. And they're saying like the big problems with Undying is that it can make it to where like Hex Ruin spawns 4 times because they never find the Undying, which can be very oppressive. They make it, and then one of the other problems is that it doesn't transfer tokens from like Hex Devour Hope or Hex Lullaby or Hex Third Seal, and they think that the aura reading is a little bit too powerful. So what they're doing is that anytime a Hex totem is cleansed, it'll cleanse Undying instead of whatever Hex perk that was meant to be cleansed. And so imagine if you have Hex Undying and you have Hex Ruin, and you have the 2 totems that are lit. No matter which totem they cleanse, it'll cleanse the Undying. So if they're on your rune totem and you have Undying up, and instead of it cleansing that rune totem, it'll cleanse the totem still, but instead of it removing your perk will transfer over to the other lit totem, and it'll instead consume the Undying, therefore preserving your hex perk. And this makes it to where uh, you'll have like pretty much an extra chance to keep your perk alive in the match without having 4 ruins. Because as a killer vein, I don't care what you say. Having 4 ruins in a match, game breaking. It's terrible. It's a forever build. If you need 4 ruins in order to win your match, you're obviously not doing something right, anyways. Good change. I think this is a good change while remaining while keeping the perk powerful. What they're also doing is they're making it where any token based perks, they'll keep their tokens on being destroyed. And so Hex Devour Hope, it'll transfer to that other totem, keep your tokens, Third Seal, Lullaby, keep your tokens. And obviously if they find the other totem, then they can cleanse it and it's gone. But it's good. I like the idea of this. This is good. This is still strong, but it's not overpowered in my opinion. In my opinion. And then now they're also removing the aura reading from hex totems, uh, but they're making it where you can see the aura reading on build totems, which is kind of useless. But I understand why they're doing it. They want to make it where there's actually a reason to use Thrill of the Hunt, because currently if you have Hex and Dying, then you can just see people on your totems. You don't even need Thrill of the Hunt. And so, anyways, seeing people on your Hex totem with Hex and Dying, if you're a high mobility killer like Blight or Nurse or Billy, you just run over there, knock them off, run back to whatever chase you're doing, down that person, see they're on your totem again, run back, knock them off, and just keep on ping ponging, and the game lasts forever like that. And it's super boring. It's just not a fun way to play. So I'm glad that they're doing that. I think this is a good change. This isn't the end of the world. This will make the games a little bit more consistent, a little bit more balanced, while also keeping Undying fairly strong. And then they're also making it to where Iron Maiden, instead of it being a 15-second exposed after Survivor comes out of the locker, it'll be a 30-second exposed, which is good. I don't think this is going to matter much because as soon as survivors realize that you have Iron Maiden, they're never going to go into a locker again. I personally would prefer it be 60 seconds because of the fact that I just said. I think 60 seconds after coming out of locker being exposed is really good, and that's actually very powerful. But 30 seconds, good step. Uh, yeah, like who goes into a locker after seeing Iron Maiden, anyways? Because you scream, you're exposed. Like who's gonna go into a locker again? I think it should be 60 seconds, but we'll see how it works out. This is Survivor perk open-handed. Open-handed, if you guys don't know, it increases the ore reading of any ore reading perks by 8 meters, and it stacks. And so if you have everybody running it, you can get it to be 32 meters extra ore reading on any ore reading perks, which is busted if you guys haven't tried it out. If you have Bond or Kindred, you can see the killer 32 meters away from the hook, which on some maps is like half the map. And so it's pretty busted, but not a lot of people use it. Um, it's but what they're doing is they're trying to make it to where the perk is more consistent for like just running it solo. And so they're making it to where instead of 8 meters, it is now 16 meters, and it won't stack anymore, which is good. I, I like the idea. I wish I had a passive, just because ore reading by itself isn't amazing, but good change. It's a buff to the perk. I like it. Of course, you can't stack it as much anymore, but you're very rarely going to have it stacked anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Second one, that is Steve Teachable. It makes it to where uh, when you fully heal somebody, the next time you get on hook and get pulled off, you'll become broken and you'll automatically heal over time. They're making it to where that automatic heal over time is a little bit faster, which is good. And that is pretty much it. Overall, this chapter looks like it's going to be a pretty good one. Obviously, there's probably going to be bugs attached to it, as there always is. The clown change, I'm very hesitant with. Animation change, I'm liking. Rank rewards, I'm liking. The perk changes, for most part, I agree with. I don't disagree with any of them. I just think that they should have been done a little bit more with some of them. The clown change, I we'll have to see. We will have to see, because this is going to be very interesting, especially seeing like after this update comes out, how the meta will change with clown. And I'm very curious to see where we go from here. I'm very hopeful for a lot of the changes that the devs are making. I'm actually really happy with a lot of the directions that they're making. Of course, they fumble sometimes, and I have really bad patches where like bugs come out and they're pretty bad. But I think in general, with the broad strokes of the game, the devs are going in the right direction. Um, and I hope that at least my feedback, or at least the community's feedback, influences their changes and makes the game a little bit better as a result. Particularly the UI change. I don't want this to go through, but that's just me. All right, if you guys enjoyed this, consider liking and subscribing. I'm sorry for not putting out as many videos so far into the new year. I do plan on putting out more videos. I think what I may start with, and this is kind of tentative, so this isn't confirmed, but what I may start with doing is I may start doing 3 videos a week, just uploading like stream highlights, and then creating a backlog from there. And then if I start noticing that like, oh, like I'm 2 months out of like videos that I have uploaded, then I may start filling in the holes from there. Um, I know. I hope that works out. I don't know. We'll see. I want to be a little bit more consistent with YouTube, and we'll see if I can do the 3 videos a week and see from there how we do. And if you guys have any questions about this update or about anything DBD related, of course, you can join my Discord. Links are below. You can tweet me on Twitter. You can join my Twitch channel. Sometimes I'm live on there, and you can ask me directly, which that's the best way if you want to have like an actual conversation. You can come there and ask me about like certain things, or what I think about certain things, or how it was going to affect this or that. That's the best way to reach me out. And yeah, bye bye everyone. Have a good rest of your day, night, or whatever. And I hope to see you in the next video. And bye bye.